Sri Guru Charitra, Chapter 7. Saumini and Madayanti at Gokarna. Namdharak says, Swami, will you tell me who were benefited by visiting this holy place of Gokarna? Sri Siddha says, just listen. Formerly, there lived a brave king with the family of Ikshvaku. He knew all the Shastras. He was considerate, strong and kind. Once he went on hunting, and seeing a demon like a flame of fire, he aimed an arrow and the demon fell on the ground senseless. The brother of the demon wept utterly in grief. Before dying, the demon asked his brother to take revenge of his death. The brother approached the king in human form and sought his service and was engaged as a cook. On the anniversary day, the king had invited rishis like Vasishtha and others. When Vasishtha and others were seated on their seats, the new cook served human flesh in the plate of Sri Vasishtha. Being enraged, Vasishtha cursed the king that he would become Brahmarakshas. The king was also annoyed to see that he was being cursed for no fault of his. He therefore took water in his hand and intended to curse Sri Vasishtha in return. Maharani Madayanti hastened to the king and entreated and prevented him from cursing his guru. She requested him to pray Vasishtha for Ushap, blessing to nullify the effects of the curse. Being pacified, he poured the water in his hand on his own feet, whereby, after being a Brahma Rakshas, he was called Kalmashpad. Madayanti bowed to Vasishtha and prayed for Ushap for the king. Vasishtha was cooled by this time. He assured her that the king would attain human form and return from the forest on completion of 12 years. Kalmashpad lived in a dense forest. Once he saw a young Brahmin couple pass by. He clasped the Brahmin youth with the intention of devouring him. The young wife of the youth wept bitterly and requested Kalmashpad with folded hands, saying, kindly release my young husband who is well versed in Vedas, and thus give me my Saubhagya, which is good fortune. By doing this, you will add to your virtues. Treat me as your daughter. If I beget a son, I shall give him your name. But the demon did not listen to her and killed the youth and ate its flesh. The wife of the youth collected the bones of her husband, arranged a pyre and set fire to it. Before burning herself in the same pyre, she cursed the demon, you will die instantly when after 12 years you will become a king and touch your wife. The king returned to the city after 12 years. He told his wife, Madayanti, all about the curse of Brahman's wife. Madayanti was much grieved to hear it. She exclaimed, even after staying in the forest in hardship for 12 years, you are not relieved of the evil effects of your evil actions. There is no son in our family. What should we do now? The king called old priest and told him, I have killed a Brahman when I was a demon and was staying in the forest. How can I be relieved of its evil effects? The priest said, you should visit all the holy places and then your sins will be wiped off. The king then started to visit all the holy places one after the other. He performed sacrifices, gave money in charity, served meals to Brahmins and the poor, did other virtuous acts. Still the sin of Brahmahatya followed him like a shadow. Accidentally, he met Gautam Muni. He bowed to Muni respectfully. Gautam asked, when you have your own kingdom, why are you wandering from place to place and why are you so much worried? I have committed Brahmahatya. I have performed sacrifices and several vratas. I have visited holy places and did virtuous acts. Yet I am not relieved of this sin. I am fortunate to see your holy self today, replied the king. Gautam said, you need not worry. Shiva will protect you. You go to Gokarna and get rid of this sin. Mrityunjay, Shri Shiva, always stays there. Though your sins are not wiped even after going through several holy places, Still, if you go to Gokarna, all your sins will be destroyed. Even Vishnu and Brahmadev lived there for balance, and their desires were fulfilled. Gokarna is like Kailas, Shiva stays there. At instance of Sri Vishnu, Sri Ganesh installed the Shivalinga. All the demons, gods, rishis, munis, siddhas live and worship Shiva and thereby attain all four velas, Purusharthas. With the blessing of Sri Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Karta, Vairya, Vinayak, Durga, and others have also installed lingas here known after their names. All waters here are holy. This is thus the most important holy place. In Krita Yuga, this linga was white, in Treta it became red, in Dwapar yellow, and in Kali Yuga it has become black. The root of this linga is in the Sapta Patal below. Even with the sight of this linga, one is relieved of the sins of Brahma Hatya, gets one's desires fulfilled, and after death, one attains salvation. The devotees staying here go to Kailas in the end. One should bathe and offer charities on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. It is virtuous to worship here on Vyatipat, Makar Sankranti, and Mahashivratri days. Bholenath Shiva passes judgment over all our actions in the month of Magh. If one observes fast on Shivratri and offers pale leaf to Shivalinga, one's entrance in the heaven is ensured. Gautam Muni further said, "So many have been benefited by visiting Gokarna. I myself have witnessed a wonderful incident when I had been to that place. When I was sitting under a tree, I saw a leper woman. She was without food the whole day. All her body was affected and pus and germs were seen all over. She had lost her teeth and had no clothes on her body. Being a widow, her head was shaved and she was much troubled due to midday hot sun. She sat under a tree being tired and soon died. Shivadutas came there to take her to Kailas. While living with the Shudra, she ate flesh and took wine daily. One day she killed a calf thinking it to be a lamb and reserved its head for the next day. When it was time for milking the cow, she looked for the calf and she came to know that by mistake she had killed it. In grief she uttered the word Shiva, Shiva. What a great sin I have committed unknowingly. Fearing the wrath of her husband, she buried the head, flesh and bones of the calf and told people that the calf was taken away by the tiger. Yet, when she died, Yamadutas took her to Yamapuri and placed her in hell. She suffered tortures and was born again a Shudra woman. She was ugly, black and blind. Her parents cared for her. For some time afterwards, she begged for her food. She was an orphan without any shelter. She developed leprosy and in course of time, she grew old. Many people were going to Gokarna on Mahashivratri day, expecting to get good alms. She also followed them. It being fast day, nobody offered her food. In joke, someone placed pale leaf on her hand. Knowing that it was not eatable, she threw it away, which by chance fell on Shivalinga, and thus she had the credit of worshipping Shiva in that dark night. This pleased Shiva, and Shivaduta sprinkled nectar on her body, and she looked like a heavenly woman. She was taken to Shivalok. Hearing this, the king was delighted. He went to Gokarna and was relieved of all his sins. Gokarna has great significance. Hence, Shripad Shrivallabha had also been there and stayed there for 3 years.